soon to be Sil has become a living nightmare. I just need a place to come rant about how infuriating my sister-in-law has become. She's always been rough around the edges, but even more so after I started dating my soon-to-be husband. When I first met him, we talked long and hard about where our relationship would head and how we wanted our future to play out together. He mentioned to her once that I wanted to be a SAHM because I had no "traditional career goals." She later called me and told me I was ruining his life and he should be with a career-driven woman. She mistreated me like this many times and we even broke up for a while because of it. When we got back together she wasn't allowed to call or talk to me. His decision and choice. 4 years had passed with passive-aggressive comments, but she lived far away, and we both ignored her, only calling on her birthday and religious holidays. But then we got engaged. I had little contact with her, and we didn't even call to tell her about the engagement. When she did find out, she said getting engaged in Disney was lame, but "it was okay for us." We rolled our eyes and moved on. Out of niceness I offered her a spot as a bridesmaid because she was coming out for 2 weeks for the wedding and I felt it would be mean to exclude her. Well, you know what happened, and obviously we won't be doing the traditional wedding. In the meantime she met someone, a married man, and started dating him. Ink barely dry on his divorce and they are now engaged. Now she keeps saying how her engagement is better than mine. She rushing the wedding because they are religious and won't have SEs till they are married. They did date while he was very married. Don't ask, we can't figure out how she doesn't see how this is a large flaw in her religious beliefs. She judges us hard for living in sin. A few days ago she called and asked how much time he can ask off for. He said he lost his job because of everything. Her response? Good. When asked why that was good, she said because now she can have it as soon as possible and doesn't have to worry about him not coming. Despite us saying if she had it this year, we would not make because of this very reason. Also, I'm not invited, but whatever, I wasn't going anyway. A day ago she and her fiance called my fiance a cheap bottom because he said he didn't have money for a birthday gift and a wedding gift for her. He told her to duck off basically. Well, his disabled father called today, who lives with her, and now she is kicking him out because she wants to have as much SEs around the house without her dad there. Of course I kinda get it, but there had to be better options. He's an ex-dependent with tons of health problems from his years of meds and huge offense. We told him he would live with us if that happens. Not ideal, but we aren't SE starved and that we will figure out a better long-term plan for all of us after the new year. I'm honestly at my breaking point with her. She's only been engaged for 3 weeks. Nightmare sister-in-law. I had to write this post about my in-laws. I'm not talking about my mill, I'm talking about my brother-in-law and his wife. What a nightmare it has been. A little history: I've been with my husband for 11 years, married for 1 year. I met my sister-in-law back when my husband and I started dating. Since then I have been the maid of honor in her wedding and am now the godmother to her 2 sons. She does mean well most of the time. However, she has little to worry about other than her kids. She and her husband live with her parents and her mother financially supports them 100%. I know, so bad. I believe that because she doesn't have a lot of other things to worry about, she has time for the petty stuff. As a result of this, she has caused a lot of fights in my husband's family. She is the queen of gossip and the type of person who enjoys giving bad news. She gets high off of it or something. She is always right and her tone of voice is riddled with attitude. I don't think she hears it though. In a nutshell, she's a tough person to get along with, but over the years I managed to see beyond what everyone else saw and formed a good friendship with her. Up until recently. I got married the 10th of January 16 and my younger sister got married the 13th of May 2017. I did all of the planning for both. Needless to say, I was very busy up until the 13th of May 2017. After my wedding, I had to jump headfirst into my sister's wedding. She's a softball playing tomboy, so I did a lot for her. During that time, I didn't have a lot of time for my sister-in-law. She invited me to a lot of things that always happened to fall on a wedding event weekend, which I explained to her every time. We did see each other at every holiday between the 2 weddings and had a few get-togethers for birthdays and whatnot. In an effort to get the story right and not have to retype Below is a letter I wrote to my mother-in-law, but never sent, with more detail about the incident. Prior to my little sister's wedding, and after my wedding, Sil had texted me a few times asking to do certain things, but it always happened to fall on a weekend. That we were doing something for my sister's wedding. I had the shower one weekend, the bachelorette the next weekend, and then the wedding the following weekend. In between these busy weekends, my friend Jay's parents threw her a surprise 30th. My friend Kay's parents threw her a surprise 30th. Another weekend I had to go to my co-worker's baby shower, and I had 2 weekends I had to go to Long Island because my grandpa died. Between my wedding and my sister's wedding there were 32 weekends. I saw Sil 15 of those weekends because of holidays, random get-togethers 15, and the 7 I already mentioned is 22 weekends. So there are 10 weekends that both your son and I spent time together, or maybe I just stayed home and relaxed. Although I know I had 2 additional weekends for my sister's wedding due to dress shopping and dinner afterwards. Additionally, your son and I are almost coming up to our 1-year anniversary, and we have yet to even think about planning a honeymoon because we're still finishing up paying for our wedding. I would also like to make a note that I cannot invite Bill and Sil to things that I have been invited to. We have not in any way excluded them or not invited them to things. I can't invite them to things that my friends have planned. I can only invite them to things that I'm hosting. Sil asked me at Easter if I was mad at her, and I explained that I wasn't. After I spoke to her at Easter, I even went further to explain to her why I seemed weird that day. My stomach was giving me problems, and I was worried. Everything was fine in my mind. Everything had been going so well, and then I get this text message from Sil at 10 PM the night before my sister's wedding, which, by the way, I pretty much planned all on my own. Within a matter of 18 months I planned 2 weddings and paid for one of them. I was tired, asking if we could meet up. She wanted just me to come. She wanted to bring the kids, but no one else allowed. I was exhausted. I said okay, and that I would get back to her about my schedule. She said okay, that it was a huge concern she had, and she didn't want anything to get misconstrued. Later on the following week, I explained to Sil that work was very busy and I wasn't going to be able to meet up that week. In that text I tried to get some info out of her. If she was concerned about our friendship, I wanted to put her mind at ease and make sure she knew I loved her. When I told her I had no idea what she wanted to talk about and would love some insight, she said no. That no was followed by not trying to be rude, but I thought we were close enough that I could ask this of you. Just saying. I asked if your son, my husband, could come. She said no. I asked for insight again. She just got more defensive. I'll let your son know, and he said he would reach out to his brother, Bill, the next day and make sure everything was okay. Bill fought back immediately accused my husband and I of blowing things out of proportion and told us that we shouldn't even be reaching out to him because he doesn't have a problem. Of course, we then found out that night that he and Sil had complained to you all Mother's Day about us leaving them out. So even when we tried to be as honest with them as we possibly could, they still lied. Eventually Sil and I got on the phone because her texting was getting more and more condescending, telling me I don't know what real life is all about. I answered her questions about her and me not texting as much or seeing as much of each other. All of my answers left her stumped, so she hung up the phone and we haven't spoken since. I guess the point I'm trying to make is there are too many other things that are way more important in my life than this stuff. I just want everyone to get along. I didn't have anything against Bill and Sil. I love their kids. I have fun when I hang out with them, and that was it. I'm not worried about whether or not she and I talk enough. I'm worried about making sure I have the dollars I need to pay the ridiculously high electric bill that we accumulated due to the really hot July we had. I'm worried about making sure I have the dollars for my mortgage, the dollars for my college loans, the dollars for my wedding loan, the dollars for my car, etc. You know what I'm talking about, Mill, because you have to worry about the same stuff and it's totally terrible. I never mention this because it's none of my business, but Bill and Sil don't have to worry about that stuff. She has a credit card with her name on it that she never sees a single bill for. Her mother does all of their grocery shopping. They don't pay rent, cell phone bills, utilities, nothing. They pay nothing. And you know why I know that? Because Sil told me. She's told me everything without me ever asking. I can't, in good conscience, acknowledge their behavior with my time. I do not have time for this crap. Apparently Sil posted something to Bill's Facebook calling me a sociopath and Bill posted memes call me ugly and worthless. How am I supposed to react to that? No matter how angry I got, I didn't get nasty. I also didn't even know about those memes I was told by friends and then went and looked. I do not have time to Facebook stalk. If Bill and Sil didn't want to be mad at me, they wouldn't be. Obviously there is something they think they are missing out on and therefore have some jealousy issues with us. The truth is, my household is super stressful. There's a lot going on that no one knows about because we don't hang out with people just to tell them how stressful life is. We keep it to ourselves because when we are with other people we just want to have a good time. Sil and I are never going to be best friends. Mill. She gossips too much and always has something bad to say about everyone. I can't pretend that I enjoy that behavior. I just can't. I love LT&D and would throw myself in front of moving train, bus, bullet, whatever it was to protect those boys. Those feelings will never change. But I have been a doormat to Sil before and I'm not doing it again. If she wants to talk about what happened, I'm all for that, as long as her part of the conversation starts with an apology. If not, the conversation will not go well and there's no point. Currently, we are not speaking. I haven't spoken to anyone about this in the family. I'm keeping my distance and enjoying my life. But I can't be the only one out there